get an opportunity at the belt, but once again, we so blessed to fight him.
Listen, we're giving you an opportunity.
He got the belt.
He got the belt.
He came to y'all. He got the belt. He did not come to. That's what you say. He did not come to. You don't want to do that.
I'm here to throw hands, and that's it. Throw hands and make bands.
But I think Brian Norman is a stand-up guy. I think he'll give me my just due once I'm victorious, and that's all I'll be looking for.
All right, Brian, what's your response to that?
I mean, I won't have to because I'm pretty sure that my hand will be raised by the end of that night.
I'ma call him Zach cause he done ran off. Saquon against the Rams, dog. I do this for my grams, dog. Protecting my fam, dog. Keep 100 grand, dog. It's part of the plan, dog. Japanese language, that's why I do not understand, y'all. If I don't lose no toes, I promise I'ma always stand tall. Do not understand, y'all. If I don't lose no toes, I promise I'ma always stand tall. Vibes.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Real Vibes. I got a special guest with me. Scoop was not able to make it for today's episode, but the show must go on, man. You know what time it is, man. It's the Uppercut Pod. We're back. We're better. Hey, man, there's no better time to talk about fighting, especially right now with so many great fights coming up, so many great events coming up, and so much boxing news. Probably one of the best times in boxing in the past few years. So without further ado, this is Big Bro, Bub, you know, someone real special to me, man. He helps us out. I'll just let him introduce himself. So go ahead, Bub. What's up?
Yo, what's good, Dariel? That's my little brother right there. My name Bub. I'll be editing some of the videos that y'all see on the channel. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate my little brother for the invite. This is something way out of my comfort zone, but you know, I'm an advocate for challenging yourself and self-development. So when he asked me to be on, at first I was hesitant, but then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But
Yeah.
a little bit about him, because I know he's a humble dude. He never really talked about himself. I'm gonna do it for him. So I just want to say I'm proud of you. I see all the things that you're doing in life. He's in college right now, Island Road student. He maintains a 3.5 GPA, family man. He takes care of the family, stays out the way, stays out of trouble. And I love watching the man that you coming into right now. So yeah, that's from the bottom of my heart. But we gonna keep going with this show. Talk about some fights coming up.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you a lot, man. All I've gotten was seeing great people growing up, and you know, Bub's one of the biggest reasons why I am where I am today, and such a hard worker. You know, he put that into me. But you know, let's get into some fights, man. They ain't come here for the sweetness.
Let's get into it.
There's a lot going on right now in the boxing world. You know, the welterweight is starting to catch absolute fire, man. Some of the lighter guys are starting to move up. You know, we have Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Rolly Romero, all moving up to 147. And that division is starting to look up. As we all know, we'll just start with Devin. We have the Ring 4 card coming up, which is one of the best cards, not even just of this year, of all time. We have Haney versus Brian Norman. We'll actually have David Benavidez fighting on that card, Jesse Rodriguez fighting on that card, Abdullah Mason fighting on that card. So that's going to be one of the best events this year on November 22nd. We cannot miss it. But I actually think the Devin Haney versus Brian Norman is the best fight and most closest battle actually out of all the fights on the cards. Tell me, what's your opinion on the fight? And we'll get into who we think will win afterwards. But what's your opinion on the fight? Because before you go, like, you know, Devin Haney right now is like a controversial figure in boxing. But all I can do is respect the man. He's moving up another weight class, and he's fighting the top guy there. I gotta respect it. What do you think of Devin Haney? Do you think he gets points for that? Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, man, it goes into what we just said. Like I respect the man that challenging himself. Like going up to 147 and for your second fight at 147 to be against the top dude, Brian Norman, like he's a dangerous fighter. That dude knocking everybody out. And he also has one of those left hooks that the same left hook that Ryan was pounding that man with. Like he kept getting hit with it. So if you can survive Brian Norman's left hook, then I think you put the rest like what happened in the past.
Okay, so you think this fight, okay, so does it do more for Brian Norman's legacy and career, or do you think it does more for Haney? Because, just for a Brian Norman standpoint, a lot of people may or may not know Norman. They're starting to, maybe come around after the past knockout of the Japanese dude, which he did that in Japan, which was pretty crazy, but some people are just now starting to come around to him. Pretty maybe unknown, maybe underrated. If he gets a name like Devin Haney on his resume, you know, he's going to the moon. He's one of the stars of boxing now. We know what Devin Haney represents and his family. Pretty huge name. So I think that does great for Norman. Then we have the Haneys, who this is probably him at his most hated. A lot of people don't like his last performance after the Ryan Garcia fight. And then, do we even have to bring up the Ryan fight? I think it was, I don't like to talk about that fight too much just because the cheating and the PED is going on. But the truth is the truth. What's on film is on film. And some people are not trying to hear none of that. Some people just think, Ryan just got the best of Devin. So if he can come back from that and destroy or look good against a Norman, that puts him back in, okay, you backing him pound for pound talks where we thought you was a few years ago. So who do you think this impacts more, legacy-wise or resume-wise?
I'm gonna have to say Devin for sure, because if he doesn't even have to win. He just have to put up a good fight. But if he comes out and gets knocked out, I don't think we can put him with the elites anymore. Like his name alone, like he's up there, what y'all call it, the four kings. But if he get knocked out by Brian Norman, he can't be put in that category no more.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I kind of agree. But then again, it's like, how dangerous is Norman? Like, are we saying he's good or are we saying he's bad? Like, we kind of don't really know where we want to go with him. Like, that's why I like to talk about fights beforehand, because afterwards, there's a whole bunch of revisionist history. I'm saying, and I was going to ask you, like, who do you think win this fight? That would be my next question. I think Devin will win the fight. So I can't come after the fight if Norman win. I can't be like, oh, I thought Devin, was sweet and soft. No, I think he's the better fighter. I think he has more IQ. I think he's been doing it longer, fighting at a higher level against better competition for a longer time. So I think he's gonna win the fight. So afterwards, I can't be like, Haney was supposed to lose. He's a littler guy. You know what I mean? Who do you got in this fight and why?
I think I'll have to go with Dev. Just because I just don't think we've seen him at his best. Devin Haney is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like how he handles some of the things that happen to him. Like, even with the PED situation with Ryan, I feel like he could have used that as like more fuel to get better, work on his craft more, because naturally he's a good fighter. No one can take that from him. But there's things that he need to improve on. So he could have took that with him, got it back in blood the way that he said he wanted it after all of that other stuff. But he just, I think he can win the fight, but he has to put it all together. He has to know how to block that left hook, and he has to I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that he has to work on technically.
You think he? Last question before we move on to the next fight. Do you think he has to look like he has to dominate him like he did some of his other fights, like at Cambosis or some of the other guys he's beat? Like, does he have to dominate him for 12 straight rounds? Because then again, this still is a pretty good opponent. Like, will we be mad if it's a close fight, close win for Devin, or does he have to dominate him in your opinion?
No, he's the top dude in the division, Brian Norman. Like, one of them anyway. So if he's just competitive, I think he can win. But he has to bring something that we've never seen before from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's dominated at the lower weight classes, but now he's in a new body now. He's no longer that 21, 22-year-old. Like, it's hard for him to cut weight now. Like, as an older person, like, I know that now. Like, at first, I used to be able to cut weight like it was nothing. But I see, like, not even a pro athlete, it's hard to do that. So he needs to come with his best form of Devin Haney.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of Ryan, let's talk about what he got going on. He was actually in talks. We're gonna get to it soon. But he's been looking for a new fight, and he's been in talks with multiple people. We've seen his name connected to Manny Pacquiao, Jake Paul, even possibly a Rolly Romero rematch. But right now, it's looking like he's gonna get a title fight against Mario Barrios. Those are in super, super deep discussions right now, and it's looking like that may happen in the first quarter of 2026. If we do get that fight, number one, who do you favor? But number two, why? And before I get to that, I want to say this, Ryan is coming off a loss to someone he was favored against. Then his previous fight, as we know, he got suspended for, and then he lost his fight before that to Tank Davis, which is a good fighter, but he lost his fight before that. So these past few years have been tumultuous for Ryan. Do you think it's fair that he gets a title fight, a world title shot after all that going on? Or is that, just the business of boxing? The biggest names just always get the money and get what's thrown to him. Like, I don't think he deserves this, to be honest. But then I understand the economics of boxing. And honestly, from just like an outside perspective, I do think he can beat Barrios. Like, Barrios, a lot of people, have been talking about Barrios. He's not the best champion we have at all right now. But that's why people keep trying to come at him. Old Manny said, let me get a crack at him. And, everyone's trying to go fight Barrios. So do you think he deserves a title shot? No matter how bad you think Barrios is, I don't think that he specifically deserves that shot.
Okay. So one thing I've learned from watching Uppercut Pod is boxing is corrupt. Like, there's no way Ryan deserves this fight. Like you said, he has a tumultuous, 2-3 years, and now he's going to get the chance at a title. I personally don't even think that Ryan is in it for championships. Like, if you see him, he's in it for the money and the fame, in my opinion. Is he a good fighter? I think he's average. Is he a likable guy? Yes. I'm definitely a fan of all the stuff that he does outside of boxing, but for him to be coming off of this loss and to Rolly, where he was favorited, he should have beat Rolly.
Heavy favorite.
That fight was supposed to set up with Devin Haney. If you remember anything like from that last New York fight, they were promoting Devin Haney and Ryan the whole time. Like it was kind of disrespectful in my opinion. You watching as say if I'm Rolly, I'm fighting you, but they promoting their fight after me, like he taking me lightly or whatever. So the answer to that is no. He does not deserve a title fight.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I agree with a lot of sentiments you have about Ryan as well. I do think he does have some talent, though. I
Oh,
do
for
think
sure.
the
Yeah, yeah.
athleticism is undeniable. Like he does have some speed. He is more maybe a global star and like that, social media guy, and we know how like people feel about that. But he has been fighting amateurs and fighting since he's been a kid. We know he
Yeah.
fought Devin Haney before all the allegations. He fought Devin Haney for years. Like they met 6 times before this past meeting in 2024. So he's fought good fighters throughout the years. He's sparred against a lot of good guys. He has a lot of stories to tell. So, and I think he does have the skill, and I think he does have what it takes to beat a Barrios, but he has to be super locked in, super focused. And maybe he becomes he becomes a 147 world champion. This will be his first world championship. I don't think he deserves it, but with all the circumstances, I think he can become a world champion. Speaking of Rolly, though, he's also a guy who's kind of turned his career around. I don't know if that's too far to say, but he was coming off, a controversial win, against the old dude, and a lot of people think he was losing that fight. They just, gave Rolly the knockout in the 9th round. Then, obviously he got stopped by Pitbull, and a lot of things were just looking down for Rolly, but he was asked to fight Ryan. That's a certain name that could bring some value to the New York card. People thought that was supposed to be a free win for Ryan, and he put on probably a career best performance. He took away a lot of what Ryan had, and he did his damn thing. Like, to be honest, no one expected that. Do we see him fighting? I know he's the world champion right now, or like he's the interim. What do we think his next move will be? Because he's also been in talks with a Pacquiao. I've heard Ryan on a lot of interviews talking about he wants that rematch back.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we see Rolly going, or what do you think his next move will be?
It was a lot packed into that. But let me see.
What do you think? All right, my bad. Tell me what you think about Rolly, and then how you think this next 2026 will look for him.
I like Rolly. And the reason I like Rolly is because he's not afraid to fight anybody. He will go in the ring with anybody, the top dog, no matter who it is. He don't have no fear. He's just, and like he might not be the best technical fighter, but everybody that he fights say that he has the hardest punch.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's one thing that works to his advantage. And Ryan said that he knew everything that he could bring. Obviously not, because in his last performance he looked really good.
Yeah.
And he knocked him down in the 2nd round. So hey, kudos to him, man. People say that his career was on a decline, but he came back up, man.
Yeah, it's interesting to know that just a few years ago, he lost to Tank, but it was kind of close. People argue he was winning against Tank before he got stopped, but after that, a few losses, a few controversial wins here and there, and you know how the boxing world is. One flip of a switch, you done. No one likes you no more. But I think he's did a pretty good job of reviving his career against a star. Maybe not a great boxer, but a star in
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia. You know, he brought some more some value to his name. And I think he's in talks for some big money fights. Like I said, possible Pacquiao matchup,
Hmm.
possible Ryan rematch. That would be huge. Like I would. I'm not gonna say I'd rather see that over Haney and Ryan, but like I want to see Ryan go get that back. Like I want to know who better between these two, for real, because this kind of changed history. Like, you know, like you said, we were gonna get the Haney and Ryan fight, and that's what we were really worried about. But Rolly just said, "Hey, I'm still on the scene, y'all. Like, y'all can't forget about me. It is 147. Y'all gonna talk about 147? Y'all gotta mention Rolly." So, I'm glad that he's back and primed and ready to fight and do big things. Lastly, about the 147, we got to talk about this, man. Um, Pacquiao is in discussions, and he's looking for a lot of, or he's looking for what he's gonna do in 2026, right?
Yeah.
He's been, excuse me, we've seen him. He's had discussions with Barrios about a rematch. A lot of people think Pacquiao won. I personally thought it was a tie. I don't. Whoever you give it to is splitting hairs, but Pacquiao looked pretty decent as a 46-year-old. Competing with a champion. Is it Barrios or is it Pacquiao? You be the judge. But I think that Pacquiao's put himself in a position to where, hey, excuse me, he's put himself in a position to where he can make a lot more money in the sport of boxing. And, the headline right now, him and Floyd Money Mayweather. What do you think about that? When you hear those two in 2025, what do you think about that?
They gotta let that go, man. They gotta let that go. I remember the first time I ever heard about them potentially fighting was I think I was in the ninth grade. It was my freshman year.
Right.
What the reason why they didn't get the deal done during that time was because Floyd was requesting Olympic style testing, and Pacquiao was like, "I'm afraid of needles."
Yeah. Very, very
No, man.
questionable.
What you mean you're afraid of needles? You get
Very
hit in
questionable.
your head,
Very questionable.
chest, shoulders, body shots, all of this stuff your whole career, but you can't take a drug test? Like, that was very suspicious back then.
Very questionable.
Yeah, so all right. Fast forward, I think it was like 4 years later. I'm out of high school at this point. The fight happened in what, 2015?
2015, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. So that happened on my first deployment. I was on the aircraft carrier. When I tell you this fight had so much hype, there was people leaving their workstations. They was getting counseling chits. If y'all don't know what that is, that just means they was getting written up. They was risking their livelihood just to watch this fight. And it was lackluster. What do you remember from this fight? Like, if you couldn't deliver back in 2015, what makes you think we want to see this 10 years later? Enjoy retirement. Both of y'all made enough money. Let it go. That's what I got to say about it. Let this be a young man's game. If they wanna do a exhibition, cool. But I don't think anybody checking for it.
Okay, so yeah, I have a lot of opinions on this fight, man. But I have a question I want to ask you too, though. So there's been a lot of rumblings about Jake Paul, right? And we're gonna swing it back to Manny and Floyd, but there's been a lot of rumblings about Jake Paul and what he's been doing in boxing, and are his fights real or not? Or is it good for boxing? These exhibitions are they real fights? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that a Floyd versus Pacquiao is closer to a Jake Paul and Mike Tyson esque fight, or do you think it's closer to a Terrence and Canelo? And I'm not talking on a skill level, but just in terms of two world class fighters going at it. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for titles, fighting for legacy, fighting for what boxing is all about. You know, becoming the best. Like, where do you see this fight on what side of the spectrum? Like, do you think like it's closer to like a real fight? Because you know, I have the opinion that I think people want to see this fight, and because there are a lot of, I'm not gonna say Floyd haters, but they're trying to see like, okay, could Floyd actually get a stand on his resume? Like, and that's kind of the same thing that's been going on with Floyd over the past, you know, when he was in his prime from '07 to 2015. People want to see Floyd lose or, you know, have a scratch on a resume. Let's see who's going to be the guy to beat him. You know what I'm saying? I do think that Floyd should have fought Pacquiao, like just to go back to your point, years ago. But at the same time, Pacquiao was very questionable to say the least in terms of why you not doing this in the testing. But then again, Floyd, were you asking everyone to do this type testing, and were you asking you going out your way to talk to these promoters about Pacquiao, but not in a good way? Like, I'm not gonna say that Pacquiao was ducking Floyd, but I can't say Floyd wasn't also like not ducking Pacquiao. So I feel like they both made the fight late, like because we were clamoring for that fight in about '09. Once Pacquiao continued to move up, he eventually got the 147 and destroyed Oscar De La Hoya. People start calling for that fight, and that was 2009. You know, Pacquiao destroyed Hatton and destroyed Oscar better than Floyd did when he destroyed he beat Hatton and he beat Oscar the year or two prior. So that's when the fight built so much hype, because they're going against similar people and different outcomes are happening. But with that being said, I want to see and know that both of these guys are still fighting at a high level. Because like we said, I don't know how we compare Barrios and what we think about him, but Pacquiao still looks solid in there. And then I know it was years prior, but he's got some good wins and he's done good things in his 40s. You know, he beat a Keith Thurman super close. Could have went either way, but he got the decision over a Keith Thurman in his 40s. He fought a Ugas, which is a skilled Cuban. You know, those are never easy fights. Ugas ended up beating him, but Ugas is a world champ. That's a girt fighter. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't take nothing away from him. So Pacquiao has done a little more over the past 10 years or decade, because Floyd only took in exhibitions since 2015. I mean, unless you count Conor McGregor, you know, for his 50-0 fight, but basically since 2015, he's been fighting exhibitions. Pacquiao has been fighting at an elite level and a world-class level for way longer. What do we think about it? Like, I'm not going to say it's a total exhibition and I don't want to see it. Like, I think these are two still really good fighters, maybe not in their prime, who still wants to go at it. Like, what's your opinion on that?
I think there's boxing, and then there's entertainment. So on the boxing side, people are like, back in the day, they were fighting for their championships, their legacies, all of this other stuff, like just all the accolades that you would like to have as a boxer. But it seems to me like they just want the money. Like, maybe not so much Pacquiao. I feel like Pacquiao is really in it for the love of the game. Like, he just loves fighting.
Boxing.
He doesn't have to keep doing it. But on Floyd's side, I don't think that he's all the way there. I think he needs the money. Like, his lifestyle can't support the cash that's not coming in anymore. So he needs to make these type of fights. And that's just me speculating, but I don't think he's all the way there for it. Will I still watch it? I would still watch it, but it's just entertainment.
That's interesting. You see it as a money grab for Floyd. Okay. Now, who would you favor, considering what they've done in the past 10 years, including what you've seen in the 2015 fight?
That's the thing. Like that fight wasn't memorable. Like
Mm.
I can't. I I remember being on the ship and there was a couple ooh ahs, but there's nothing that pops out to my in my mind that be like I need to see this in 2025. Like I can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And lastly, last question about this fight. Like, I know I was talking about it a little bit. I went on a little rant, but do you think a loss for anybody affects their legacy? Let's start with Floyd. Let's say we make it happen in 2026. 49-year-old Floyd versus 47-year-old Pacquiao. Does that affect
This is a real sanctioned fight. Like
Mm-hmm. Yep, this
it
going
goes
on
on
y'all
your
records. Yep.
record.
Yep.
Okay, so personally, I don't think a loss on your record is a bad thing. Cause that just means that you can bounce back from it, go back to the lab, fix what you need to fix, and come back and get it. But for Floyd, his whole identity is being undefeated. So for him, yes, it matters. To Pacquiao, no.
Okay. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Basically, exactly what you said. Like, we can't look at Floyd the same if he loses. Even if it's a younger fight. I mean, even if he's not at his younger self, I feel like you have to look at this. And it's so funny, we actually just seeing him and Roy Jones beefing earlier this year, and he was posting all of Roy Jones, lowlights that happened after, Roy was in his prime, you know what I'm saying? So if you could do that and use that against Roy like everyone else does, because we all know, well, in my opinion, Roy was the best fighter I've ever seen, but he's not great. His greatness isn't as good because of what happened after his prime. Like people will remember that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't just go away from your memory. I do think that it will be important for Floyd to win this fight for his, whole image to stay the same. I do agree, 100%.
I,
Yeah, man.
I
But
like that take.
yeah, the welterweight division is looking good. The past few years it hasn't been the greatest, but Ennis just moved up. He's now at 154. We know how great of a division that is, but 147 is starting to look up, man. I'm excited. These next few years, I think we're gonna get a lot of great fights, and hopefully we get Shakur and Tio at 140. You never know. Maybe them dudes start to move up in the next few years as well. Like these young kings, we finally get some of these fights that we want. Maybe it's at 147, maybe 140. Who knows? But all I know is I'm excited. Any
I'm
last
excited too, man.
any last words before we get out of here? This was a great episode.
Uh, I would say thanks for having me, of course, but I understand the business side of boxing where they try to build the boxer up to get these mega fights. I get that. I'm cool with that. But I would love to see all the fighters fight each other like they did back in the day. In the 70s, 80s, 90s. Styles,
2000s too.
yeah, 2000s as well. Styles make fights, and just because one person beat another doesn't mean that person that lost to this person is definitely gonna like. It's still an interesting fight. I want to see these talented fighters go out there and fight each other.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's all we've been clamoring for. And just to real quick go back to the Pacquiao thing, you know, does it say something that Floyd and Pacquiao in 2026 is one of the biggest fights. Does that say something about where boxing is right now? I kind of do. I think that's not a great look, but then again, I do think that it is a really good fight. It's really intriguing. Like, I can't lie, I'm interested. I am.
Yeah.
So, but it is between 49 and 48 year olds. So it's like, what do we? I can see why people are mad about this fight.
Yeah, it could be an indictment on the state of boxing right now. I would say that, but hey, it's all entertainment at the end of the day.
It's all entertainment. And that's what we're here to do for y'all, man. We're trying to entertain y'all. We're going to be back. We love bringing videos like that, where I'll speak for myself. I love bringing videos to y'all. I know Bub enjoys editing, and I'm sure we'll see him a few more times on a pod. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you again for 100 subscribers. It only happened in a few months, so we really appreciate it. More videos to come. We're also on all platforms: Instagram, X, TikTok. Make sure you check us out over there. And hey, Bub, you got any last words before you head out of here?
Nah, man. Just thanks for having me, and make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Yes, sir, and we out.
As the 147 division, let's see. Dang, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so 147. I forgot what I was about to say, man. I can't even think.
Oh man, I already know you.
No, I'm gonna cut this part, but I'm gonna get to what I need to say. What do I need to say? I just had it and I lost it that quick. I'm glad this the end of it though.
Glory days. It's full of young fighters. It's
Oh yeah, so the